Rolex, Patek Philippe, and Audemars Piguet. We are going hands-on and unboxing over $500,000 worth of watches today. I'm Thomas Hendricks from 2024. We are in New York City and I am so excited to get my grubby little mitts on all the goodies that we have in here. Now we're focusing on the unboxing experience, which is not something that a lot of people do. After all, a box is usually only touched the day you buy it or the day you sell it. But there are a few reasons why these little pieces of plastic and cardboard are important. One is it creates a full set. Collectors love that, and it does add value to the watches. We have a market report on this coming to our channel soon. Another part is just the experience. If you're gonna pay $100,000, $350,000 for a watch, you wanna have a luxurious experience. Now we're gonna go through one by one, talk about the materials used, the experience, and the watches inside. And that's enough talking. Let's start unboxing with Rolex. We're starting off in familiar territory with Rolex. Now this has become almost a rite of passage, opening up this box right here. Rolex is, after all, the most popular watch brand in the world, so let's see what we've got. Pop the top of the little coronet. We have this signature box here. This is the green wave style that the brand has been using since about 2005. And of course you have Rolex's signature color green Pantone color code 3425C, which is the exact same color code as Starbucks. So even if you hate this video, at least you learned something. Now let's pop it open, shall we? All right, now this box is very snug in here. We're gonna get this paper part away and off camera. And then as you see, you get this, wow, full experience. And what do we have here? None other than the platinum day-date with that ice blue dial. So Rolex watches have evolved a lot over the past decades, especially this packaging that we showed earlier. You just have little motifs on it depending on which watch model you were getting. This is clean and classic, as is the watch that we are seeing here. Now, if you look in here, we have these nice little felt divots. It makes it really easy to pull this out, and boy, is this thing heavy. I cannot understate that. We have the platinum day-date here with the ice blue dial. A little bit of like a honeycomb-esque motif on it. Now this is, of course, the older model with the smooth platinum bezel. Rolex recently released a fluted platinum bezel, which, according to the brand, is very hard to manufacture. And the watch fits in nice and snug back into its felt little pocket, and we have a little compartment right here for your papers. So, final thoughts on this. This is the first time I've opened up a Rolex in my life. Gotta say, rather impressed. Everything is well done, well manufactured. I doubt Rolex makes these in-house, but whatever supplier they use does know what they're doing. Little details here which show the attention to detail that you get from a brand like this. Great colors, great presentation. I love this little wave pattern. I wish they brought back some of their vintage motifs, but hey, you can never go wrong with the crown. That's a wrap on Rolex. Let's move on to a little Swiss brand called Audemars Piguet. Now we can already tell you first impression, this is a very heavy box. A lot of that is due to the materials used, and a lot of that is due to the watch that's inside. If you guessed that we have a royal oak, you would be correct, but we have a special royal oak that we'll show you in just a second. Okay, so we have this fold down flap like a lot of other brands have, and this protective sleeve here, and this nice heavy wooden green box. Take it out here, another precision fit, of course. We'll move this just off to the side. And one little feature that I love is this little push button here. It gives it a nice James Bond feeling. But first, a little bit of history on the Royal Oak box. Now, the most collectible ones out there are from a few decades ago. They are actually octagonally shaped to match the octagon bezel on the Royal Oak. Some are in green leather with the exposed screws actually embossed in there, and a Royal Oak in silver foil. Or you have the most collectible ones, which came out with the 20th anniversary, where like the 14802, which is a wooden octagon, all handmade. Now we don't have a 14802 in here, but what we do have is a different anniversary edition. And here in solid rose gold with the tourbillon right on the dial is the 50th anniversary Royal Oak. I love seeing a sport watch like this in precious metal, And let me tell you, the wrist feel on this is massive. Now, I would take a two-hander time and date Royal Oak any day of the week, but I certainly wouldn't say no to this either. One thing I love here is that you have the simplicity of just the hour and minute hands, but with that motion, that activity, that joie de vivre of the tourbillon down at 6 o'clock. The tapisserie dial here is also slightly different. There's a little bit of a fumé pattern, so you have a little bit of smokiness to it versus more of the standard blue. And it really adds in with kind of these tones you get with the different facets as you move this watch around in the light. So with the tapisserie dial, with the different angles that we have here in the case, in the bracelet, and with the tourbillon here in constant motion, there's just so much to look at. So compared to Rolex, this AP box is definitely more robust. You have a solid wood here. There's no kind of leather or maybe even imitation leather like you get with the Rolex. A darker green makes it feel a little bit more masculine as well, a little less vibrant. Nice little gold touches with these exposed screws here down near the button, little gold foil, but really what sets it apart here is just the sheer sturdiness of this box. And of course you would need a robust box to match a watch like this. I mean, this is about $350,000 worth of rose gold, and what better companion here. And that's a wrap on AP. We're moving just a little bit further away in Switzerland to another Trinity brand. This one you'll know as Patek Philippe. Now, they actually haven't told me what's inside here. I'm a big 5712 fan. I'm a big Complications fan, but we'll see what we got. Already we have more going on here from a visual perspective. Whereas AP and Rolex had maybe a singular brand symbol on this, we have a couple different elements that we're working with, and some that wrap around the box as well for more of an immersive feel. Pop this open, again, very precise like all the other ones. And this also has a lot going on as far as packaging. Another heavy box. I should have gone to the gym before this. Protective felt sleeve. And then we bring out this signature, what most people cite as mahogany box. Now, what I immediately noticed again is the weight and substance to this. Really great wood used here, lovely grain. I love the way the light hits this. There's a lot of little details, these little metal feet here, this lovely clasp, and of course the Calatrava cross right dead center. Now, this Calatrava cross goes all the way back to the Order of the Calatrava in Spain in the 12th century, and Patek has been using this symbol for over 100 years. But enough about the history, let's open the damn box. Pop the clasp, see what we got. Ooh, and we got an Aquanaut travel time in steel on the strap. This is the 5164A in steel, and what a cool watch we have. This is one of my favorite sport Patek pieces. Love the hands that we get here, the dial layout, the kind of grenade pattern, the dual grenade pattern that we have here on the dial, and the sub-dial. This beautiful strap which carries that motif, and because it's Patek and an Aquanaut, this strap is going to be cut to order for whoever's lucky enough. So I'm going to slide this back in here and slide this around so you can see kind of presentation that we're working with if you were lucky enough to open up one of these boxes yourself. You notice a few cool details here. We have faceted corners on the edges of the box, and you can find some with faceted feet as well. And I just love the high contrast presentation that we have. Dark wood meets light leather, meets a little window framing around here, and boom, just makes the watch pop that much more. Now, an interesting fact is a lot of people will take issue with the old Patek boxes. That's because they used a synthetic leather right in here, one specifically called Burkana, and that goes through a process as it ages called hydrolysis. A friend of the show, John Reardon, told us all about it. Basically, this will flake off over time, which, especially if you have like a grain complication from the 70s, is not the experience that you want. Now, in all likelihood, Patek is still using a similar synthetic leather today, although I would hope one that's a little bit more durable. Again, if you're not interacting with the watch all that much, it's not going to make a huge impact, but over time, you certainly don't want this material flaking off and getting onto your watch or just falling out all over the place. Now, it's hard to make a Rolex box feel cheap, but in comparison, AP and Patek are kind of in a league of their own. Now, with each of these, you get a different piece of the brand, and it shows you what the brand wants you to experience as a customer. For 99% of the people, the watches go directly into the safe and they only really come out if you sell the watch, but you never forget that kind of Christmas morning experience of opening up something like this. I'm Thomas Hendricks at 2024 in New York. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.